Hey everybody, this is Dennis, and today is the first in an installment of several videos. I'm going to be talking about how to avoid these 6 habits of, that's 6, losing traders. But before we get started with that, for the first time of joining us on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to be notified of any new content that we do put out, and also, since we are a small business, show your support by giving us a thumbs up and leaving a comment in the comment section. So let's get going right now. And if you guess Sigmund Freud, you're absolutely correct. There was an old story about Sigmund Freud. You know, Sigmund Freud tried to make everything about, well, the people who would go to his lectures, he had this heavy psychological connotation to sex, okay? And that's one of the things. They had a big discussion about him and his cigars and what that meant and all that kind of stuff. And so one of his lectures, he gets up there and he starts talking, and one of the persons listening to the lecture stops him for a second and says, is there any psychological meaning behind why you enjoy to just smoke a cigar and all that kind of stuff? Is there any sexual thing going on there? And Freud turned to the person and said, you know what? Don't try to read stuff into everything that a person does. Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. And so I thought that was apropos, smoking a cigar. Disclaimer remains the same. So let's talk about trading habits that are killing your profits. And this is where I think part of the deal is we want to learn how to be honest with ourselves more than anything else. If we're honest with ourselves, we basically can take the action necessary to improve our habits so that we're not killing our profits. Here's some of the ones, and I've counted up 6 of them. 1, trading without rules or systems. Okay. For whatever for whatever reason, a lot of folks believe that trading is easy. In premise, it's simple, but it's not necessarily easy. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, a lot of emotional stuff that goes into it. So I'll constantly continue to be surprised at people wanting to trade without rules, without systems. And it's probably because I think that they have this, and I won't call it overblown, but they have a misconception of themselves misconception about themselves that they give themselves, for whatever reason, the benefit of the doubt that I should know how to do this, and when in reality, it's like anything else. It's a skill that needs to be developed. And so that's number 1. Number 2, poor technical analysis. They have no idea of where the buyers and the sellers are hanging out. And Mark says, yeah, more complex than he thought. Rocco, I just don't know anything about trading, so there was a lot of intrepidation, and the active trading system helped me get past that. Well, thank you, sir. Although things still jump in. Yeah, they do. And you know what? It's almost like with any other kind of contact sport, they always will. So anyway, number 2, poor analysis, no idea on where the buyers and the sellers are hanging out. After today, you will continue to enhance that capability of where do the buyers and sellers hang out. They have no pre-trade routine. What does that mean? In other words, they don't define how many stocks they're going to review on a daily, on a weekly basis. They don't know their own limit, how they need to limit themselves, because, what's the Goldilocks mix? In other words, the just right mix on a pre-trade routine. And we'll cover a little bit about that. They basically jump in either too early or too late. This is a habit. you know, they try to pick the bottoms, you know, pick the bottoms or pick the tops. When part of the things in learning the process is to learn the middle of the trend is where the profits are made. You know, I encourage you to take that basic term or that sentence right there and, you know, put it on your refrigerator door or something like that. Or on your computer screen, wherever you do your trading. Say the middle of the trend is where the profits are made. And so what's that saying? It's saying that if we're in too early, the trend hasn't changed yet. If we're in too late, the trend has already changed and left us behind, and we're getting too close to the place of the trend changing back the other way. Number 5, poor thinking. And then number 6, it's all about probabilities. So let's jump into the first part of that, trading without the rules in a system. 1, trying to trade a strategy without proven rules. Now, you know, I've, you know, provided everybody my one-page rules. We, have gone through those numerous times. I encourage folks to actually take that one-page rules, especially when they're first trading, and break it down and even reduce it further than that. And in reality, a person only needs one setup in a trending market and one setup in a non-trending market, and they can do really well on that. And then they build their rules around those two different types of setups. So they try to trade strategies without proven rules. I've shared many times a story of a good buddy of mine who basically got stuck into this trap. If you'd wind up trading a strategy, what is trading a strategy? Well, trading stocks is a strategy. Trading options is a strategy. Trading spreads is a strategy. If they have no link or there's a disconnect between the strategy and the rules, then you have no fail-safe in your system. In other words, your system can, if the strategy goes against you, it can wipe you out. I mean, basically take all your money, and so that's why the rules, systems have got to be in place prior to the strategy. Number 2, sometimes they have too many rules. That's one of the things I do not want to be a critic, however, and I love the Investor's Business daily stocks, the way they basically isolate and highlight their stocks. However, if you operate totally within their system, there's about 7 or 8 or 9 rules to get in to a trade. There is about, I want to say, somewhere between 25 and 30 rules to get out of a trade. I'm sorry, I'm an engineer. I like complexity, but that's too complex for me. So there's too many rules. And so we keep it fairly simple. We've got 3 rules to enter. We've got 4 rules to exit. That's it. Too few rules. Now, again, that can, if you have too few rules, what that can do for you is that basically it gets you out there hanging where you would like to potentially take more profit, or you don't have something that allows you to say, hey, I'm going to call an audible, or I'm going to basically look at a different time frame chart, and I've got a tighter place where I can put in a trailing stop or a stop loss. And so not having enough to protect your capital can also get you in trouble. So they have then mixing system parameters. What does that mean? It basically is being inconsistent in the way you apply the rules, which can just jump you into all kinds of trouble issues. Because if you're inconsistent in the application of the rules, if you're journaling and keeping track of your individual trades,
several trades start to go against you, you don't have a benchmark or a point where you can measure to say, oh, this is where I'm making my error, because you're mixing things up.
Thanks for watching this first installment of how to avoid the 6 habits of losing traders. At Active Trend Trading, we are all about one thing. We people how to clarify and simplify the trading process so you can multiply your profits and minimize your risk. So please stay with us. You can also visit us at activetrendtrading.com, where we have some of our special offers for our free watch list, and also our very popular AutoPilot trading system that provides the best top 5 stocks in the stock market every week for you to be able to trade along with us if you choose to. Aloha, God bless everybody.